This will be the step-by-step longer version of the bumper install for the 4Runner. So stay tuned. If you are new to the channel, guys, please hit that subscribe button. Don't miss a video. We have a lot of installs still yet to come for the 4Runner. I have a lot of parts sitting on the sidelines that I'm waiting to install. I'm just waiting for the time to do that. Today we're going to install the Hefty Fabworks Banshee bumper with the low profile bull bar. So I chose this bumper because this whole front cover is actually modular. It comes off, and with that off there's a steel skeleton underneath, which I'll show you as I'm installing this. And with that cover off, you can mount the winch and a light bar option. This front cover attaches with these two Allen heads and these two Allen head bolts here. So there's 4 bolts total on top, and that also holds the bull bar in. And then on the bottom here, you can see there are 1, 2, 3 Allen head bolts, and that also secures the front cover on. I have laid out on the table, to make my life a little bit easier, the printed out instructions that Hefty Fabworks sends to you and all the tools that they are recommending or required. I'm going to get started to remove this front end and prep everything for the new bumper. So the first step is going to be to remove this whole front cover right here. And there's just a bunch of these clips that you push down on that releases the clip itself, and then you can pull them out. We'll put them to the side, and then we'll work on the next step here. So let's go ahead and remove that front cover. These clips are just press fit in, and that button that goes down pushes the little feet out, and that's what creates tension and holds it in place. These clips are a little bit different. You actually get a little screwdriver in underneath, pry it up, and then the clip itself will come out. Here's 10 millimeter. And then we have a few more clips underneath here. All right, that should be the top disconnected, so we'll disconnect the areas on the inner fender. Now we're going to disconnect the bumper cover from the fender liner, and there are 3 10 millimeter bolts right here. We'll undo those, we'll access the fog light connection, and then we'll remove that connection, and then we'll do the same for the other side. After you remove these 3 bolts, these clips actually clip onto the inside lip of the fender, and then up here you have to actually push in and then release the bumper cover. So I use a screwdriver for that. And then it actually clips into a bracket that's back here that'll pull out from that bracket when you give it some pressure. There's some bolts underneath which we'll remove as well, and then we can kind of swing the bumper cover away. So you have a handful of 10mm bolts underneath, and that'll release the bottom of the bumper cover. And at this point, the bumper cover should swing out, and you have access right here to the fog light, which just unclips. I don't know what kind of clip it is till I get my hand there. It's a very simple clip. It's just a little push right here and a pull down, and that releases the fog lights. I'm gonna go do the other side, same thing. So I did the same procedure to the other side, bumper's ready to come off. What I did, since I'm solo, is I actually put that 10mm bolt hand tight back in the center that holds the top of the bumper in. I was afraid that if I took the other side off without that bolt, the bumper might just come straight down. So this side should be just about released, and then I'll pull that bolt back out, and then I should be able to remove this bumper cover. Very simple. All right, we exposed the whole front here. I mean, that took maybe 15 minutes or so. Not a big deal. If you want to do this at home, I wouldn't be scared. But we haven't gotten into the meat and potatoes of it yet, though. But removing the whole front was very easy. Now we'll remove the foam. We'll remove the actual bumper, the crash points. We'll trim this black up. We'll trim the bumper cover, and we'll get ready to install the steel skeleton structure. So now that the bumper cover is removed, we're going to remove the foam right here, which just kind of just presses in with these little pieces. And then it exposes 3 bolts on each side. Those are 14mm, so we'll remove those. And it looks like there's 2 10mm bolts from a front splash guard that's holding the cover on, so we'll remove those too. All right, now they have the crash cans or the impact zones here, and there are, looks like 3 bolts on the outside, 1 bolt on the inside, and same here, 3 on the outside, 1 on the inside, also 14mm. And these will come off. A little hook on top, I didn't see that. That connects to the frame rail. All right, next step, we're going to trim these black covers on the side here. And according to Hefty Fabworks, it's a cut that's similar to that. And then the same on the other side. I'll use an air saw. We'll see how that works. It should work pretty good. I use this for a lot of body work. It's pretty easy to handle, but they say you can use a utility knife as well. I'm sure there's a multitude of other tools you can use too. So. All right, let's do the other side. Hey, check this out. This is really bothering me. See all these bugs that are sitting on my AC condenser. So before I start to put everything back together again, I'm going to see if I can vacuum some of these guys up. They're impeding my airflow. All right, well, it's not 100%, but I did get quite a few of them guys out of there. Get a little bit more air running over my condenser. Maybe some better AC performance. All right, let's button this job up. I have the structure, the steel, they call it the skeleton structure, which is on a jack right now since I'm installing this solo. So I'm gonna have to play around to get the alignment correct and the height correct, but this should be able to make things a little bit easier for a solo install. Need to get these bolts right here. There's 4 for each side, which we're replacing those crash can bolts. And we're gonna get this thing lined up and bolted on. All I need to get is 1 bolt on each side so I can secure it, and then I could give it the final bolts. But let's see if we can even do that with 1 person here. There are 4 holes on the left side and then 1 on the inside here. They do provide those bolts. They are 10mm bolts with 14mm heads. And that bottom one right there, that would be used if you have a 1-inch lift kit. So everything would essentially come up here. And same on this side. So I try to center them up. So 3 on the outside, 1 on the inside. And now we are pretty solid with these recovery points bolting directly to the frame rail, as opposed to some people use these, which is not ideal. You can see they are bolted to the frame rail, but you're pulling on a 90-degree angle here on this weld. And this is also, looks like attached possibly to the radiator support underneath, which is not ideal. Let me get a better shot of that. So I do feel a lot more comfortable knowing that I am more solid, bolted right into the frame rail there. So this is the skeleton structure mounted, and you can see the winch will sit right in there. So the front cover is off right now, and when I want to add the winch in, when I decide what I want, I'll remove that front cover, and then we'll have full access here, and then also full access underneath to bolt it up. So let's get the supporting brackets in on the side right now. All right, next step, we're gonna do these frame support brackets, and they'll fit in, they'll tie into the frame on the bottom. There's a threaded bolt here, and then there's 2 bolts that go through the bumper, and then nuts on the inside here to secure them. Here's a little close-up of the frame support bracket installed. It ties into the bottom part of the frame rail there, and then onto the new bumper. Next step is the bumper cover bracket, which will actually bolt right here to the bumper. Use 2 Allen head keys with washers, or Allen head bolts I should say, with washers, and then that'll actually tie in with a threaded bolt here to the fender liner. So when the bumper goes back on and you have to put that bolt up, it has something to bolt into. I have the bumper cover all set up and measured out, and as I mentioned, we did 1 inch from the grill down and a 1/2 inch from the crease in, and then also 1/2 inch in from the side here on the valance over here and up. So 1/2 inch and then 1 inch, and I'm going to use the air saw, so let's cut this thing out. This is how the bumper cover looks all cut out, and we're getting ready to test fit it. But I do have something a little more exciting. We are going to walk over to my neighbor's house because we are in the process of designing and fabricating something special for the third row 4Runners. So if you have a third row 4Runner, you might be interested in this. All right, here we go. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. We'll take another peek as we get closer. I just laid the bumper in there loosely. It's just kind of hanging there, but you can see the way it fits here. And then that cover will actually go over that lip and hide it. And the way it comes around down here. So the cover will hide that lip. It'll sit above it. I am going to mount the light bar today as well that I just got in. This one's off Amazon. Manufacturer is AUTOBOTS. Let's see if I can get in the light here. From what I can see and from what I observed, it seems to be pretty darn good quality. It does come with a full-on harness, plug and play with the weather-tight connections. I know a lot of them don't, so I'm happy with that. And it has the mounts also, which are adjustable, and also has the relays and pretty much everything you need to install it. I didn't want to have to hunt down or build my own wiring harnesses. Also, the Hefty Fab bumper does require a single row up to 20-inch light. So 20-inch fits perfectly in the opening there. And I chose the amber. So I'm gonna go mount that in right now. I have the light bar all mounted up. And I'm just trying to work on centering it. So very basic install. It's got these L brackets right here, and they are adjustable. And the bumper itself has these long slots. It's got two slots, one in the front and one in the back. So it gives you multiple mounting options. So right now, this is the 20-inch light bar, auto power from Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. And I use the L brackets and it went right to the edge of this slot. So on the front, I'm gonna put the cover on and see if I can make sure that it's the right height and if it's centered correctly. And then I ran the wire just temporarily up through where the AC lines go. Got the bumper all installed, lights are on. I don't think the video is going to do justice how bright these lights are. I'm actually very surprised, but I'll give you a little walk around of the bumper and my opinion on it so far. But overall install was pretty easy. And the lights are just temporarily wired to the battery. The switch is under the hood right now, so I need to put that through the firewall and into the passenger compartment. Beautiful finish. The powder coating, All Valley powder coat here in Arizona did an amazing job with it. I did satin black, and you can see maybe right here there's a little bit of a gap. Maybe it's my fault, maybe I cut it a little too short. They said a 1/2 inch, I thought I did a 1/2 inch, I probably would have done 3/4 of an inch. And the bottom right here, it looks like it could slide back a little bit. So I'll play with that a little bit more here. I'm just dying in this heat right now, but really happy overall with the bumper. Also the one thing that I have not figured out is the air dam underneath. If you bolt it into the factory location, it does not bolt up to the bottom of that bumper, and I haven't seen instructions that say really what to do with that. So I have to figure that one out, or email the company, give them a call, or what have you. Hefty Fabworks Banshee bumper for the 5th gen 4Runner is installed, and time to enjoy it.